Hey, welcome to Ben African Cyclets. Today I'm going to show you about some Ryobi inverters here that you can use in order to run your tank during power outage. Today we're going to talk about that 800 watt inverter. This power inverter is actually getting released soon in Canada. I was just on the website. We're 1st of December right now. It just says release soon. It doesn't give a specific date or the price that they're going to charge here. But it's coming, you guys. So the first test that we're going to do here is we'll test the 150 watt. I think I have another video about this. Oh, that turned on by itself. Alright, so I have another video about this. So the 150 watt power inverter for Ryobi. So I got my canister filter here. Oops. Canister filters actually just use about like 7 canister filter just use 27 watt, most of them 27 to 35 watt depending. I think the FS6 is actually from Fluval is actually 35 or 45 watt. So anyway, 150 watt is more than enough. Most of the time during power outage, if you lose any fish, it's because there's no water circulation, which doesn't bring oxygen in the tank, and this is what's gonna kill your fish. So with this, you won't have enough to run your heater, but you can wrap your tank with a blanket to keep the heat, but you'll have enough to run the canister filter. So the output of this canister filter is up in the corner here. So as I'm pressing this to turn it on, you should start seeing some water movement. I don't know if you can see this here. The canister is working now. So yeah, you can save your fish with that. So really with this, I got 2 canister in this tank here. They're both about 26 watt each. So I can run that. My 2 wave maker are 7 watt each, so I could run that as well. There's USB port to charge your phone if you need to. But anyway, for you guys, because it's the fish channel, we're going to concentrate more on what you can run for your fish tank. Yeah, go check out my other video on my Ryobi review channel. Alright, now we're gonna step this up. So I got this bad boy here that's up to a 800 watt inverter. So if you plug into a car, it doesn't apply to you. Well, maybe if you're transporting some fish, you'll have up to 120 watt of power. 300 watt if you use one of the 2 amp hour battery or any battery that Ryobi have. I'll show you one here. So that's a 4 amp hour battery from Ryobi. There's some cheaper one. There's some that are on only 1.5 amp hour. You can use anything like this. Just convert the 18 volt power into 120. So it doesn't really matter which amp you're using for your battery. Okay, so anyway, to get to it, so this will plug into the side if you are using that battery. So we would have 300 watt, so you could pretty much run everything except the heater. But now I want to run everything, including the heater. So I want the whole 800 watt. So this tank here, I get a 500 watt heater in it. So we're gonna turn this on. So to get the 800 watt, now you need to plug it in. This is my boat battery actually that I keep on trickle charge. I got lots of batteries around here. First, I'm a mechanic. The other thing is I get lots of toys. So anyway, and I never want to get stuck not being able to do something. So I always have tons of backup of everything, including for the fish tanks. So anyway, so I got the battery here. So we're gonna be able to run both canister, the heater, the wave maker, everything with this. And that's gonna tell us right here. So I'm powering this up right now. So it's green. So I heard my canister filter going. So I can see here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but underneath there's a little bit of bubble underneath. This is where I keep my photo plants. The fish will eat the roots if they were in the water. So anyway, that's another video here. I got that already filmed, but I can do a new one because the plants are getting huge. So I get that into a window planter. So anyway, so I can see the air bubble underneath, so I know my wave makers are pushing. I get some on each side there. They're both pushing. You can see the heater going. So this little thing here is pretty neat too, because now I'm seeing, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera here, all the numbers. So 12.4, and that's the voltage from the battery here. But if I press again on it, 37. So it's actually using 37 watt right now to do everything. Oh, you know why? It's because actually I get my other canister plug in directly to the wall. That's why. But anyway, like that would have just been another like 20 something. So I guess now the heater is must not be going, because yeah, the light is not on the Hingbird. Get another video about this too, you can check out. And so we'll force this in. There's a little button here. It's trying to force the heater to go on. But anyway, even if the heater was on, that would have been 500 watt, right? So 500 watt plus our 36 that we have right now to run the canister and the wave maker, like that's nothing. Not even close to the 800. So anyway, you can run a fish tank like that, no problem with this thing. The real question is, what can you run in the fish room? Okay guys, so let's go in the fish room / gym. And then we're going to test the inverter, okay? To see what, if there's a power outage, what we can save down here. So I got the inverter here and the battery. So the 150 inverter would be good to just run it by itself, I guess. And, you know, for example, that rack of tank here have his own air pump for all the air pump for the babies, and the tumbler too. So with that I can run the air pump no problem. We have big air pump here. I get reviews about those air pump already if you guys want to check them out. So those are just like 7 watt, right? So I have 3 or 4 of those in here, so you know I can run all the air pump no problem with just that little 150 watt in the power bar. But yeah, we'll see if we can run all the filtration and all the stuff too with the bigger inverter. When I say run the fish room, I'm not going to run any of the heaters. Fishroom is not organized or set up to be energy efficient, so I don't have just like some of the people out there, like one huge air pump that runs all the filtration. Here we have little hang on the back filter, just because the fish are super dirty. So and the African cichlids, we feed them a lot, so they eat a lot, they poop a lot. So if I just do sponge filter, all the tanks are gonna be nasty every week. So to fix that, then I just have hang on the back filter. You can just swap the filter out of there, the sponge out of there, clean it really quick, and then yeah. Anyway, back to the video here. I'm getting a little bit off track here. So we're gonna see what we can run in here. Alright, so I'll do the ultimate test for the fish room. Now my fish room is connected to circuit, because when I built it I had too many plugs to go on one circuit. So what I did is I disconnected the light that were on one circuit, run a wire to the light, and then ran it two part of the Fishroom. So those are just, you know, to make the circuit legal, so that it didn't have too much. And then the other half of the Fishroom I had to run another line to have it on another circuit, because there was too many plugs in total. All right, so the breakers are off, just to simulate a power outage, and this is what would happen too if you would have a power outage. I would flip the breaker off for the Fishroom, the two breakers, and then to protect the inverter and the backup power, whatever backup power I'm using, to protect it from when the power goes back on. You know, it doesn't matter if it's your gas generator or whatever, you should protect it, right? So anyway, so we have the 800 watt inverter hooked up. I'll show you here. So I got the 800 watt inverter hooked up to the battery, so that will give us 800 watt. And then I built that extension with 2 male plug. And then what I'm doing is I just plug that 1 male plug into the wall here. The circuit, like I said, is already protected because I have the breaker off, so you won't have like overload of power or nothing like that. And then yeah, we'll press the power button on this, and then we'll see which tanks light up. Okay, so press the power button. So with this, I have this half of the Fishroom running, light, LED, filters, bubblers. Now I did not disconnect the heaters in any of those tanks. They should not come on because the Fishroom is warm enough as it is right now, but if they come on, then it could make the inverter kick off on us. All right, so now let's see here how many watts we're using. So if I press the button once, so we're using 579, 580, 580 watts. So that's pretty good. So that can run the whole Fishroom without the heater. I would disconnect the heaters if it was really a power outage there, but that was just to test. Okay, so now we're gonna connect this into the other half of the Fishroom and see what we can make run into the other half. So I will turn this off, and then that will turn those tanks in the same time. So yeah, they went dark. Okay. So now I just have to move my plug here to the other side of the room. So we'll plug this in here. So this should, there's no power on this thing. All right, so now we're going to turn this on, and this side should go on. Oh, must have some heaters going there. That's why it's flashing. Let's try this again. Okay, so I'm gonna try to figure out which heater is on right now, and then we'll be right back. I'll just unplug it. Okay, finally got it there. So fine. I had like 4 heaters going all at once. So I had the one on the top tank here, one in the middle tank, the one here, I had the one in here. Oh, and I think I had the 2 top one there too going. So yeah, more than 4, and they're all like 200 watt each or something, 150 to 200 watt each. So anyway, So now we have 522 watts going right now. I think it might still have one ether going somewhere because this is not running as smooth as the other tank, as the other side of the fish room is going. So, but anyway, so it works. So yeah, to run the whole fish room actually without the heaters there. So this side here that's dark was over 500 and the side is over 500, so I would need two of those here. But this is not what I would do usually. So during a normal power outage, I'm more concerned about water flow. So what I would do is run everything like bare minimum on just like water pump in here. Water pump, and then whatever tank don't have any air bubbler, then or tumblers or something, then those tanks there I would run the filters. So anyway, there's some stuff to figure out in here. I'm going to, I should organize stuff so that all my pumps are on one side so that I can just, if they would be on just one power bar, then I can connect everything really quick. But yeah, so anyway, that's gonna be a work in process. But as I'm doing that video, I'm realizing that I should do that there so I don't get in trouble at the last minute, because not time to figure that out when in the middle of a power outage trying to save all those fish, right? So anyway, hopefully you like the video. If you want to see more of the Ryobi stuff, go to my Ryobi channel.